Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Why? You have so much to gain. This amazing stories, a window to the Latino community right here on the podcast. Today we have an amazing individual, Marvin The Tank Ferman. He is a boxer in the local circuit, making an impact for himself. Not to mention, since 4 years old, he's been fighting, and you're gonna find out all about it in this episode. And now to the episode. Marvin, hola. Hi, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You sent me a message. I went through your page, and I'm like, man, this gentleman has a lot of things going on. And like, even from the get-go, early in your life, it's been a fighting type of lifestyle per se. But we're going to get into it in just a second. But before we do that, we're going to do Preguntas al Chile. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? You got nothing to lose, but tons of things to gain, such as this amazing story of this gentleman we're going to be talking to, the Tank, not the other Tank, a different Tank. All right, estás listo? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Do you do a little Spanish or not so much?
I'm go both ways.
Both ways? Cool. Because sometimes I
Spanglish.
throw it in there. You're like, ¿qué dijo?
Yeah. No, we good.
Okay, corn tortilla or flour tortillas?
Corn.
Tacos o tortas?
Tacos.
Gorditas or pupusas?
Pupusas. Come on now.
A lot of my people say pupusas too.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
Mexicanos, man. Y'all got that on lock.
Yeah, you can't never go wrong with that.
Y'all got that on lock. Yuca frita con chicharrón o empanadas de leche?
Oh, to be honest. I wouldn't even. To be honest, I don't know. I'd probably get my Salvadorian card revoked, but I'm not a huge fan on the yuca.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess I would say the empanada.
Empanadas de leche?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you want to put it on silent, we can already, bro.
Sorry.
It's all good. It happens. That's one of the... Bree, you didn't let me tell him to put the phone down. What happened? Okay. Pan con pollo o pastelillos de carne?
Pan con pollo,
Yeah.
for sure.
Crush. What's your favorite sabor de crush?
Orange.
Orange?
You're basic, yeah.
Horchata, jamaica o agua de tamarindo?
You know what? Actually, neither. I'm not a horchata fan. My favorite juice, I guess you could say, is pineapple.
Pineapple?
Yeah, agua de piña.
Heck yeah, agua de piña. I need to put it in there
Never go
because it's
wrong
really
with
good.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't know if you do any spicy, pero salsa verde, salsa roja.
Verde. Yeah.
Tamales salvadoreños o tamales mexicanos?
Oh, man. To be honest, that's a 50-50 for me.
Yeah.
Because I love them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would probably say Salvadoreños because they fill you up a little bit more.
Tell
They're
me-
a little bigger.
Tell me the difference between a tamal mexicano and a Salvadorian. Can you kind of sort of explain what it looks like and what it entails?
Yeah, so el salvadoreño is made with banana leaf. So it's made with chicken. I think el mexicano le echan un poco más como salsa roja. El salvadoreño lleva más unas bolitas blancas.
Uh-huh.
I forget what they call them.
Is it a bean?
I think it's
Garbanzo bean or
garbanzo
lima
beans.
bean?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so le echan pollo, garbanzo beans, and I would say it's probably about twice the size.
Oh, twice the size of
Yeah,
a regular
as
one.
a Mexican.
Do they make it
tamal.
with regular masa también, or do they do something different?
This is the same. I think
Okay.
it's the same, to be honest.
Sounds great. So if you never had one, recommend it. Go get you some right now. Okay. Menudo o pozole?
I'll go with pozole.
Valentina, tapatio, cholula, hot sauce?
Cholula.
When you want to celebrate a victory, you're in the ring, you just knock somebody out or won by decision, and you want to dance, what is your favorite genre to go to? Cumbia, merengue, bachata?
I'd say cumbia.
Cumbia?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do you be doing any dancing when you be fighting at all whatsoever?
You know what? You sometimes get into that little rhythm, and you would say it's a little more like a little salsa rhythm. But I'm definitely not a dancer.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Whenever you're either working the fast bag, the speed bag, or the heavy bag, what is the music that you like to put in to get in that rhythm?
I would say some cumbia.
Nice.
You know, because it always gets your whole body going.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. This one's way different than the other ones, but I like it. It's kind of fun. I'm going to change that one. I'm probably going to do something else because some people are just against conspiracy theories. But if you had a conspiracy theory that you heard one time that you're like, that's kind of neat. It could be real. Anything like that comes to mind at all that you heard? It could be true.
Man, these parasites. I'm huge on this parasite things. A lot of the, I guess you could say, like the sicknesses and what people got going on. They say ADHD and all these things. I've been seeing a lot that they've been saying that it's got to do with parasites.
Okay, so of the things that you heard, seen videos about, talking about parasites, that's some of the illnesses that people are having, like HDAD and stuff like that, related to?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you kind of dive into that rabbit hole situation, but I've seen a couple videos of ladies doing detoxes that's helped their kids with a lot of issues with like speech impediment or ADHD, having issues concentrating, stuff like that, and they've actually passed the parasites when they use the restroom.
Okay,
so I don't know. It's it's something to kind of see it to believe it, but it makes it sound believable.
Okay, so it's not. Maybe we're not accustomed to it here in the U.S. because you don't hear about that, right? I grew up in Mexico.
Okay.
So we used to have running water every so often, and we had to store it. But whenever we were running low, we had to go get it at this barranca, they call it. This like a little cliff. And the water would come from like the rocks from the volcano. So it will pile up and we would just go grab it. The water from there is clear, drinkable water. It looks very clear and drinkable. Mm-hmm. But there was this little bug sometimes in the water, but we just still grab the water and take it back. And we'll use it to cook and drink. But sometimes we never boiled it. We would just,
Right, drink is true.
So we had, it's going to sound disgusting, we had lombrices, which is worms, when we were growing up. And to us, it was just like, I don't know. And the other day I was talking to my cousin, and I'm like, why you wonder we had lombrices? Like it's not a common thing here. I don't think it was the food, but I think it was the water that we were drinking. Some of those parasites were getting in us, and they'll give us medicine to kill the worms.
Right.
And in Mexico, sometimes you don't even have outhouses. You're literally in the wild. So you do your business in the wild, and you as a young kid, you start kind of poking around, and you see moving things.
Yeah.
I seen some worms. Literally, bro. I seen them. Okay, so I'm kind of curious on that part. So the ladies, what kind of detox do they do? Because I'm all about the natural way to cleanse your body, right? I heard of the papaya, the seeds that you kind of sort of mash them with a little bit of honey. What kind of?
So that's kind of the I guess you would say the one that they say that really, really works is those papaya seeds.
And you take them just a spoonful, or do you crush them?
No, I've heard you take them spoonfuls. I guess the worms attach to the seeds, and then that's how you pass them.
That's cool.
I've also heard like doing like walnut. I think it's called walnut oil or black seed oil.
Yeah.
But I think like ginger with lemon and cayenne pepper and doing all this stuff like helps you clean your system and get all that stuff out.
What do you think of fasting? Of course, sometimes as being a boxer, we're going to get into your story. What do you think of fasting in general?
Oh, I love it. To be honest, it obviously is good for you physically, but I think it really helps mentally. I also do it. I try to do intermittent fasting.
What is the longest fast you ever did?
Oh, I actually did one not too long ago. I would say maybe about a month. I went 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah, 3 days of just water.
That's cool.
But it's not bad. It's not as hard as people think, to be honest. It's not.
So I done, not to one up you, bro, that's not my intention, but I did a 6-day fasting.
Okay.
And I did it with the lemonade that you put the lemon, the water, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper.
Okay. And
you blend it all together, and that's all you drink during this entire time. And it's doable to do that many days. After the third day, your tummy starts hurting. But once you finally pass that, and of course the maple syrup and the water helps with the lime, so you're cleansing. But once you, like, when I had my first meal, because I'm plant-based, I'm vegan, I went to my favorite spot and I got my favorite dish. I started crying because it felt so great having to be able to eat.
Right.
And I know because you have to go to weight cuts.
Oh yeah.
Some of those things are like, man, it's brutal. But you're so appreciative whenever you get to eat a meal that you have been deprived for whatever amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like maybe be disciplined not to eat that because you're in training or whatever, and you're like, what do you mean I can't have my favorite tamale?
Right.
But now you get to do it, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So whenever you hear the word Latino, Latina, or Latinx, what is the first thing that comes to mind to you? No right or wrong answer, just whatever comes to mind to you.
When I hear Latino, I hear hardworking.
Hardworking, absolutely. Do you consider yourself Latino? Do you prefer being Salvadorian? Some Mexican Americans that were born here, they call themselves Mexican Americans because they were born here. They're not Mexicans technically. They have the bloodline. What do you like?
Well, usually when people ask me, I'll tell them I'm Salvadoran-American, right? I have the Salvadorian roots, but obviously American because I was born here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, so let's get to your story. Again, you've been fighting since you were 4 years old. Super fascinating. At 4 years old, you had a particular something that happened to you, right? Can you kind of sort of break down what happened?
Yeah, so I was 4 years old, and I remember one time I was playing on the hamaca. We were laying on the hamaca, and I think it was a nail staple, something like that, had got into my leg, which caused an infection. Started getting worse until we ended up having to go to the doctor. And once we got to the doctors, they didn't know what it was. They didn't know how to stop it.
Right.
So what they had said was, we got to cut your leg off.
Amputate your leg.
Amputate my leg, yeah,
wow.
Exactly. They would have to amputate my leg to be able to stop it from spreading. So thankfully, my dad stepped up because, obviously he probably would have been like, you guys are the doctors. Guys, you know what you guys are doing. But he didn't let it happen, thank God he didn't let it happen. And he was like, I did my job as a parent. My son was sick. I brought him here and I need you guys to take care of him. So they operated on me. I was at least 3 months in the hospital. After that, I went home and I had 24/7 nurses at my house for like another 3 months. Split me wide open, constantly cleaning the infection, making sure that all the infection was gone.
Right.
So it was crazy because at such a young age, that's like the first obstacle that I had to go through was being able to walk, literally being able to walk because I almost lost my leg.
What happened exactly as far as they weren't able to explain exactly? It's just an infection. It just kept going?
Yeah, I think it was just an infection that they couldn't stop. This was probably back in the early or mid 1990s. So obviously medicine wasn't as great as it is now. But to me, it was just an infection. To us, it was just an infection. But for some reason, they couldn't tell us what it was or how it came about.
And it's all in Irving? In Irving at that time?
Yeah, all this was here in Irving. Yeah. Okay.
So at 4 years old, I can't remember some of the things that I went through when I was 4. A couple of things pop up, but not too much. Do you remember any of that stuff?
Yeah, vividly, man. I remember having pretty much laying like an air mattress because I've had machines and everything, hooked up to me. My leg was literally completely open, like split open, while they were trying to clean up, making sure that all that infection was out.
So they had to open it up and then close it back up?
Yeah, well, the thing was they couldn't stop it from the infection it would just keep going. So they constantly had to clean it.
Wow. Antibiotics, nothing was doing anything?
To be honest, I don't remember, but I would assume that that's what they were giving me to help. But yeah, it was definitely a long journey, at least a good 6+ months.
So getting close to the end, again, let's go back to your father. A lot of times we do take that they're the authority figures, the doctors, and that's what's gonna happen. That's when you're gonna have to amputate your leg, right?
Right.
So what drew your father? Have you ever asked him what drew you to it? Said no, stop. We're gonna look for another option, and you're gonna fix my kid. And I cut his leg because you're taking the easier approach. Seems like instead of having him have his leg, because it's a big deal.
Oh yeah, it would literally change my whole life story if that would have happened. And to be honest, I think because I'm Christian, my parents were Christian, my grandparents were Christian, so I think it was more faith based, and he knew that wasn't gonna fix the problem. It was just gonna, pretty much mess up my whole life. So he took that leap of faith, I think, that said, no, this isn't what's gonna happen. We know that there's a different way that we can handle the situation.
Yeah, milagros are real.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Miracles are real. You might not understand it sometimes, but, you you know that you can't.
Oh, yeah.
There's no scientific explanation. There's just things that happen, you know. So
Yep.
great for your father. Were y'all well off at that time? Did you have good money or not necessarily?
No, man. Actually, childhood was kind of rough. Both my parents worked at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You could say almost all of us were sick. My sister was also had surgery. My little sister had real bad asthma, where she had to almost like live with a machine.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom was taking care of us. She would also work, but my dad was working 2 jobs. So he was pretty much out like 16-hour, 17-hour days.
Wow.
And they would just take turns trying to take care of us.
Man, shout out to your parents.
Yeah, man.
How was it, the expenses of the nurses and everybody that was clock round just checking on you?
You know, I think we got help. To be honest, I think we got help. There was a lot of things that we didn't know where they were coming from.
Mm-hmm.
For example, a Christmas, you know, we were able to receive a lot of gifts. And, you know, us as kids, we didn't ask questions. We were just happy that we were able to have gifts.
Right.
So I think we were blessed, man. I think a lot of that stuff was taken care of. And to be honest, to this day, I don't know by who or what organization or what. But, yeah, we were definitely blessed in that time.
Shout out to them. You know,
whoever it is.
I
yeah.
helped sometimes. We done previously before toy drives with car shows mixed, and we get a lot of toys, and we take them to the Ronald McDonald House or in different places. But that's the type of message that I try to relate to people. Like, as kids going and battling through cancer, like during Christmas time, maybe you don't know the whole meaning, but you know the smile that it puts in your face whenever you get a brand new toy. You don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
You just know you got something, and it feels freaking amazing just to get whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very, very awesome. Shout out to them people. Okay, everything seems functional. Everything good now. Do you remember the recovery when? Okay, of course, the illness, the infection stopped, and now you have to pretty much learn how to walk again.
Yeah. So I ended up having to get like a boot. So they had to shape me into a new boot. And I was on that for a while, learning how to walk. You know, physical therapy and all that stuff. But I was always an active kid. You know, growing up. Too active sometimes.
Why
active.
is that?
Well, my dad loves to share the story, and so does my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
I actually turned 1 in El Salvador. So they went to go do my birthday party over there.
That's cool.
And we've been to El Salvador a lot, but they love to tell the story where I would go into the chicken coop and grab the chickens and chase them around and grab their eggs and start throwing the eggs everywhere and, you know, get into
that's food.
Yeah. Well, at the time I didn't know, right? It was
1 year old, you don't know difference.
Playing with rocks, right?
Yeah.
But it was chicken eggs. But yeah, I was always super active, running around, doing all kind of stuff. We're from El Rancho.
Yeah, of course.
So we're up in the mountains.
You free. You got all this land that you can
lost.
do. That's cool. You got lost a few times?
No, I would get lost. Like, they would be looking like, where is he? Where's he at?
Yeah.
There was a time where they couldn't find me. And I was stuck in the oven of you know, those ovens where that's in el pan. Yeah, I was stuck in
the
there.
brick ones.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they couldn't find me. Next thing you know, I pop out, my face all black, charcoaled up, because I was... I was stuck in one of those ovens.
Bro, you're the way you grew up reminds me a lot of the way that I grew up, because the same thing happened with a chicken for me. Like, I used to find the eggs for my grandma to gather them and, you know, for us to eat. But one time I remember my mom, she did something, disciplined me, and I started crying. And this little chicken just kept, this chicken kept coming to me and pecking me. I'm like, I was crying, upset, and I kept pushing it away. And he kept doing it. And they did it like 3 or 4 times. And I lost it. I grabbed the little chicken by the legs, one side to the other on the ground, and he died. So my mom came outside, man. She was hot. Like, what are you doing? ¿Qué hiciste? Guess what we had for dinner that day, though?
Chicken nugget.
Caldo de pollo. I don't eat chicken anymore. Forgive me, little pollito.
Yeah.
Pero that day, bro, is like, we don't throw nothing away. Like, all that stuff is useful.
Yeah.
And, you know, it happens. And the same thing, one time I got lost at some hay of corn. I fell through all the way down because we were climbing on top of it. And then I was stuck in there for, like, I don't know how long. And my grandma was freaking out because they couldn't find me. I was all the way down there. By the time I came out, it was like, they scared I was gonna suffocate because
Right.
like it was deep down there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what the heck? But that's the life of the rancho, though.
Right.
That's the life of like the field.
The freedom.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
you
amazing. I love it.
You got a whole freaking all this land that you can just run around and do this, get in here, climb this tree, go grab this apple, go cut this freaking lime tree. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's life.
That's pretty cool. So you're pretty active doing young. Anything as far as sports that you're doing through high school? Not necessarily.
Yeah, I played football pretty much.
Nice.
American football.
Position?
Defensive lineman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so which was a little weird because I'm kind of small.
So you're the Waxahachie Indians?
Well, no, I was in Irving. So I was Irving Tiger.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm 5'10". You know, at the time, I'm not the biggest guy. So I'm right in front of the big guys. So it was
really big guys.
Yeah, the really big guys. But I've always loved it. You know, I've always
Nice.
loved competition since 7th grade, all the way to high school.
That's
I played
cool.
football. Yeah.
Something interesting happened to you during high school. At a time that you're supposed to have a celebration. What happened?
Yeah, I had my appendix.
Oh, wow.
My appendix ruptured, and one of these days I was working and at a fast food joint, and I was just getting some real bad pain. And you know, I kind of had that little tough bravado where you know, when something's going wrong or you got pain, you don't say nothing. So I just kind of hey, nothing's wrong, I'm all right. You know, give me some Pepto-Bismol, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pain just wouldn't go away, and we ended up having to go to the emergency room, and my appendix was leaking.
Ouch.
And the week of graduation.
So
I had surgery Monday, early morning Monday.
Right.
And then I had to go Wednesday to go do my finals so I could walk the stage on Saturday. And thankfully I was able to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thankfully I was able to do it. And I wobbled through the stage because I was in pain because I was fresh out of surgery, but I was able to graduate.
That's awesome. That's great. Okay, so you know, you continue to, you know, go forward. Was there anything in particular at that time of graduation that you wanted to kind of strive to go through? Did you had something, a career path in mind that you wanted to do, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I had always been working with one of the close friends of my dad's. He owned a body shop. So that's kind of how I started doing things. I wanted to do mechanic. So I ended up going to school, trade school. I did 2 years right out of high school. So I took about 2 months off and then went straight into trade school, did 2 years, and started working on 18-wheelers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started my career in 18-wheelers. But again, during that time, I was working 2 jobs, going to school, and yeah, it was tough.
It was tough.
But I was able to do it. You know, gracias a Dios, I was able to do it.
So you were able to graduate with certificate, or?
Yeah, I was able to graduate with a 3.9 GPA and 99% attendance.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
bro.
It was a struggle, let me tell you, because it was definitely tough. At the time, I was working fast food, and I was doing hard labor. I was in a warehouse, working graveyard, and then after work, go home, sleep 2-3 hours, and wake up, and then go right back to school. So
how long for?
It was 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Did you even remember any of that time, or it seemed like at a blink of an eye?
Man, it went by real quick.
How does it feel whenever you're graduating finally? You get, you know, I don't know if you got the certification or an actual degree, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. You got it. How does it feel to be able to get it done and accomplish, knowing that you went through all this, that literally is almost a blink of an eye, but 2-3 hours of sleep, but you got it done?
A relief.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was like a relief. Sometimes it felt like I wasn't going to be able to do it. And it's definitely tough because sometimes it feels like there's no way out. You know, it's like, man, I got to keep going, but it's not working. Like, I feel like you drowning almost, you know what I mean? It's like you got to work here, you got to work here, but you still have to do time and take care of your homework and show up and pay attention while you're in class. And yeah, it was definitely tough. So it was a huge like weight off my shoulders being able to finish.
Whenever you were feeling that way, overwhelmed, literally wanting to throw in the towel, how did you push forward? What made you want to push forward?
Pray. Yeah, I just prayed. Like I said, I grew up in church, so I'm a big believer. And now with my testimony and everything that I've had to go through, like there's no way that I can say there isn't a God. You know?
Right.
He definitely took me out of a lot of things and has helped me out a lot.
Awesome. There's a particular time in your life where you get to where you're battling anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all that. Is boxing a thing at that time, or what was it that you said enough is enough? I don't know what got me here, but I need to get out of here.
Well, boxing was actually what helped me get out of that. So, like I said, I was super active. So I played a lot of street basketball. And one day I was out playing with my cousins, and I tore my ACL.
Ouch.
Tore my ACL, collided with a guy in midair. Some guy that we didn't even know, just some random dude that shows up, collide in the air, tear my ACL. I knew nothing was broken, but I knew something was wrong because my leg literally chicken winged. I mean, it retracted.
Ouch.
And I couldn't extend it out. So I ended up driving myself to the hospital. But like I said, I knew nothing was broken, but I knew something was wrong. Come to find out, tore my ACL, tear my ACL, and everything pretty much goes downhill after that.
Okay. It's because you're not able to move? It's because you're that hard times are coming, or what is it that makes you put in that state of mind at that time?
I think because of the active person that I was. You know, the super active person that I was working 2 jobs, going to school, playing all these sports, and then out of nowhere, everything stops. Literally, everything stops. I tear my ACL, I get my surgery, and I'm literally in bed a month.
A month
Straight. I mean, I don't get out, but go to the restroom, maybe shower, and then I'm right back to bed.
Are you living with your parents at that time? They're helping you support, so you financing might not be so much of a thing right now, right? You're still doing all right. So entire month, mostly not being active. All of a sudden, thoughts start creeping into your head.
Yeah, I start getting depressed. You know, I start getting depressed. And one thing for me, and I know probably a lot of people go through the same thing, is they resort for food, for comfort.
Right.
So I was feeling bad about myself. So I would just eat. And that's when everything went downhill. I got depressed, started having anxiety, panic attacks. I was pre-diabetic in my early 20s. Like actually taking medication because I was pre-diabetic.
Okay. What is the breaking point? Again, when is enough is enough and that's it? What happened?
My cousin told me, shout out to my cousin Eric. He's the one that told me about that podcast, The Boxing Voice, that was hosting a boxing event. And if that was something that I would have maybe liked to have joined and did. And of course, me being the athlete and then the super active guy was like, yeah, you know what, why not? I'll give it a try. And obviously in boxing, there's a lot of training. There's a lot of running. So little by little, I started to do it. No training with an actual coach, just me in my garage, just working out, you know, doing it by myself. And little by little, I started making those changes and my body started changing as well.
Okay. Whenever he invites you, is that like kind of sort of the sign that you're looking for to try to get out of the rut that you're at and try to maybe be active and doing something, get a little active like you used to be?
Yeah.
Or your expectation was like, let me just do something because I'm not doing anything right here, now.
Well, it was a little bit of both, to be honest, because the boxing was nothing that I've ever thought of doing. You know, I've always played sports, the soccer, basketball, baseball, all those things. But boxing never really crossed my mind. So it was like an invitation of something new, which kind of made me curious. So I was like, hey, why not? Give it a chance. See what it could be.
Okay, so now you're doing training by yourself in your garage. Are you watching a lot of YouTube videos, or where are you getting? Because there's Max Holloway. I don't know if you're MMA. Yeah. He learned how to box playing a game.
Wow.
So that's how he kind of learned how to do boxing, doing that. So he would just go and do it in the gym, trying to practice. Yeah. So what was your way to kind of self-taught boxing?
Yeah, pretty much YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was big on YouTube, big on the motivational speakers, and just working on trying to lose that weight. You know, just slowly, little by little, trying to drop that weight and just trying to learn as much as I can.
A lot of men, whenever they get active, men mostly, do see results fairly quickly. Did it take you quite a bit of a long time to say, you know, I can really see it now?
Yeah, it took me about 3 years.
Wow.
It took me about 3 years, and I think it's because of my life, the way it is, right? Like, I want to be active, but you know, I also have a job that I gotta attend to, and it made it very complicated and very hard. and then also the love of food. You know, the love of food. It was like that was my escape. When something would go wrong at work, you felt stressed out. You resorted for food, and obviously, at the time when I was cutting weight, I was considered a heavyweight. You know, I was
5'10".
5'10". I got up to 250 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was at the time where I tore my ACL, and you know, I was eating my life away pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a size 40 plus, 2XL shirt, and taking pre-diabetic pills in my early 20s.
Okay. So you do all this work. 3 years later, somewhat, you kind of sort of start seeing results. Is the medicine, you start leaving the medicine necessarily, or not really at that time?
Yeah, by the time I slowly start seeing results, you know, that confidence comes back, and everything kind of goes out the window. Little by little, the depression, anxiety attacks, all that. And the change of food, obviously, I think was the big factor in that. So all that slowly started going away as the results started to come in.
Yeah, I heard a podcast. I think they were talking about like asking the guy what's more important, working out or mental, and he's like working out because that like toughens you, makes you stronger, whether you want it or not. Great to have mental fortitude, but it starts for you be able to push yourself to be able to get there. You know what I mean? So it's like working out is actually a little bit better than like, let's say, be aware of your mental, because it starts from that part that fortifies it to be able to for you to do the rest of the stuff.
Right.
Okay. One thing is training, watching YouTube videos, seeing results, but another thing is actually fighting. When did that come about? Who piques your interest more? I'm like, hey, maybe you can jump in the ring, maybe not.
Yeah. So the first 2 fights that I had with that particular league, I wasn't at a boxing gym yet.
Wow. So it's street fighting?
No,
Kimbo Slice style?
It was kind of sort of.
Oh, wow.
To be honest, it's almost like a backyard fighting league, but it's a little bit more official. You know, you have your refs and everything is pretty much officially done, but it's not really sanctioned at the time. It wasn't sanctioned. And I fought a big guy, 6'4", heavyweight, in the 220s. But at that time, I wasn't going to a boxing gym, so that was just off of pure heart and grit and anger, I guess.
Did you win?
Yeah, won them both.
Knock them out?
Decision? No knockout, decision, yeah.
You're still wearing headgear, right?
Yeah, we're still wearing headgear.
Awesome. Yeah. So how does that feel after you get your first win?
Oh, man, it feels amazing. But also, you go back and obviously you're your biggest critic, right? So you're like, okay, I see these guys fighting, and then I see myself fighting, and I'm like, man, I look horrible. You know, I need to sharpen up. I need to change. So then after those 2 fights is when I'm like, okay, this is where I need to take it to the next step and actually go to a boxing gym and start training.
Wow. So what is the first boxing gym that you attend to, and kind of sort of what do you see the difference between what you're doing and what they actually do? Because they have a system to what it's like to do it the right way.
Yeah, well, the technical stuff, right? It's like you practice, you do certain things, and then the little things that you don't see, they see, and they correct you, right? Keeping your hands up, doing certain movements. So they definitely stay on top of you whenever you're doing those things. Obviously, practice makes perfect. So the constant repetition makes it easier when, you know, you're starting to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the little things that we just don't see it is watching the fight.
Right.
And we like thinking we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But the ones that really do in the corner, like, hey, this, that, and whatever.
Yeah, I love to see it when you know, you'll go out to a bar or something and you're watching fights and the guy next door that's drunk is like, oh, he should have done this. Why is he not doing that? And you're like, you have no idea, right? Like, I'm pretty sure he would want to do it, but it doesn't come out.
That's me. Not in the bar, but that used to be in my people watching the fight, thinking we know what we're talking about. Like, it's easy to do.
Yeah, man,
kind of like
tough.
the quarterback and would you just throw the ball, bro?
Right. He's right there in the middle. Why didn't you throw it? Yeah.
Because we looking at it from a different point of angle, bro. He's at the bottom. We over here on the top looking above. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so now after that, you get more serious. Now, did you make the decision like, I'm gonna box? This is what I'm gonna dedicate myself to do. I like this, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna give me a couple belts.
Yeah, so I continued fighting in that league. I kept working my way down in weight, from from heavyweight all the way to light heavyweight.
Wow.
So I continued fighting with that league. I joined a gym, started getting serious, and I continued to fight. Had a couple more fights with them. which is called Border Wars. And
yes, I've seen the videos, YouTube videos. You can check them out.
And ended up going 6-0-1 with them. So I ended up being their number one fighter with close to about over 100 fighters.
Wow.
In that league, yeah.
That's awesome. And you end up with a belt.
And end up with some belts, yeah.
So belts. You had a couple belts.
Yeah, I got 3.
3 belts with them. Wow.
Yeah. On my way down working, unified with a couple other guys that had some belts. And, yeah, man, the rest is history.
For you, what does the belt symbolize to you, knowing all the things that you went through to get those belts?
That my hard work paid off. Yeah, literally. And it kind of sounds cliche, right? But, I mean, if you don't put in the work, boxing is a lonely sport. Everybody says it, right? Boxing is a lonely sport.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see what you put in. So if you don't do in the work, it's gonna show, right? So for me, it's like I did the work. You know, after the 12, 13-hour days, I went out and did the run-in. You know, I grinded and made sure that my diet was on point so I could make the weight. And I did the sparring and the training and everything that I had to do to at least get the win.
Right.
So that's pretty much, it's like you made it, you did it. All your hard work paid off. Okay,
so I don't know if I got it correctly, but you actually competed for the Salvadorian national team?
Yeah, so my last fight was in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the opportunity to go fight with the Salvadoran national team in El Salvador. They had an international competition.
Nice.
They had a couple countries there, and I was able to place 3rd place. But during that time, I tore my thumb ligament and my shoulder ligament during the fights.
Ouch.
Yeah, but I was able to compete. I was still able to fight, and I was able to come out at least in 3rd place, which not horrible. You know, but obviously, you know, you want to win first. But, you know, circumstances, I was able to still fight with torn ligaments.
Who tells you about the opportunity that you might be able to compete for the national team? Is there anybody that kind of sort of tells you, hey, you might be able to try out, or you might be able to be part of this?
Yeah, I reached out to a couple of their coaches, went out there and trained a little bit, and just gave me the opportunity to compete.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. I mean, again, get it, 3rd place, not first, because, you know, you always want to show more work. But, you know, literally from somebody that began in their garage watching YouTube videos to maybe going into actually doing the boxing, but now taking it even further for the best of some of the best of the best for a team, and then you're there going toe to toe with them. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you know, I'm grateful for it because it's an opportunity that not a lot of people get. Yeah. And then obviously, like you said, the story behind it is like, you know, some of these guys have been training for a really long time, since they were kids, probably, you know. And
you started a little later in your day.
Yeah, I started very late, to be honest. Yeah, I started in my mid-20s.
Wow.
Yeah, in my mid-20s.
Wow. That's crazy, though, bro. Do you feel whenever you're in the boxing ring, even when you started, that you have a little bit of something that is different from everybody else, or not necessarily?
I think something that I kind of preach about, and I feel like you can't really train is heart. You know, I feel like I got heart just from everything that I've had to go through. It's like you have that mentality that no matter what you're going through, you're still going to try and push and try and be the best. And I feel like that's something that you can't train, right? There's a lot of guys that are very, very skilled, but, you know, they get punched a certain way, or they have to spar against a certain guy that's a lot better than them. They don't want to do it, or, you know, certain things like that. And in my case, it's like, man, put me with whoever, do what I have to do, as long as it's going to get me the results that I want.
Yeah, I thought I seen some of the things that I looked into you. Was there any bare boxing at all, bare knuckle boxing, or just straight up boxing?
Just straight up boxing. Yeah.
MMA piques your curiosity at all whatsoever, or you just want to stick to boxing?
Yeah, actually, I did a little bit of Muay Thai, and that was right before I tore my ACL. So that's kind of a little bit of what helped me, I guess, start, you could say, a little bit into that martial arts kind of mentality. But I didn't do too much of it. Obviously, you can't throw knees and kick when you don't have a knee.
They might frown upon that.
Yeah.
It might be DQ or something. A lot of the times, you know, when you get into something, whether it be podcasting, whatever the case might be, all of a sudden now you try to find the best of the best that's doing it, to try to get inspiration or see what they're doing to make you better. What are some of the boxers that you like to look into and see what they're doing to help you out?
Well, your most technical guys, the ones that are at the top of the game, which is like your heavyweights, Usyk, Canelo. You kind of pick and see what they do, and you try to replicate the same thing. In my case, I got an aggressive fighting style, which is funny because that's kind of why they called me the Tank. One was because of my size at the time. When I first started fighting, I was 5'10", 250 pounds, which small little tank, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the name came from, right? Tank. But then also my style of fighting is very aggressive. I'm very come forward, very hard punches.
Is it compared to the Mexican style? They say all in your face.
Yeah. You can definitely say that's my style of fighting.
Do you get any flag for your name being Tank, knowing that there's another Tank out there?
Yeah, no, to be honest, they don't really say too much about it.
¿Por qué no mejor El Tanque?
Yeah, it's in Espanol, right?
Yeah.
Compared to the Tank, El Tanque.
El Tanque.
El Tanque, yeah.
Yeah, so not that guy. He's smaller than way
yeah,
smaller.
he's
what do you think of him in general about technical power and all?
He's a good fighter. He's a real good fighter, and he's definitely got pop. He sparks out these dudes. Obviously, the Leo Santa Cruz uppercut destroyed that guy. Looked bad.
Oh man, bad.
Yeah, it looked.
That was horrible. I thought that dude was
dead.
I thought that dude was
just
goner.
about.
It was a goner.
Yeah, it was
because it was
bad.
so clean.
Yeah,
and he wore him out too. Though he wasn't like one punch and knocked him. That's another thing a lot of people don't understand about boxing, right? So I don't know boxing, but just from the things that I heard and many hours of watching boxing, you know what I mean? It's not just like you punching them, get lucky. You set up stuff, right? You start working your jab or working the body and make them do a certain thing that gives you the opening for a particular shot, right? So that's a lot of things that the people get. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I mean they say boxing is like a game of chess, right? You gotta outthink your opponent. You gotta throw a punch, and then you gotta expect something back, and then you gotta know what you're gonna throw back, right? So it's definitely a very calculated game, and it's not just going out there and just swinging for the fences.
Yeah, absolutely, because you'll be worn out too. That's another too, how to conserve energy. Yep. Again, think a million and one things as you're in the thing.
Right.
Who is it? Tyson has a very great quote that's like, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yep.
So whenever you're game planning for your fight, and of course you have what you got going on, you think you're going to do, but all of a sudden you're getting punched in the face. How do you react to maintain composure on that, to execute the game plan that you worked on to win the fight?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is trying to maintain composure. Because when you have that I'm a fighter mentality, is like, all right, this dude's coming at me. All right, I'm about to give it back to him twice as hard.
Because it goes primal too, right? It's Survivor too. So you got to tap into that también.
Yeah, you got to know is that it's either him or me, right? So, you just got to go and think about what you've worked on, and that's why that game, it's a game of repetition, right? It's a game of repetition because you got to make sure that don't go back to those mistakes that you made back then, right?
One of the most important things that is only obvious, but people don't understand, is how much you have to be like conditioned. You have to run quite a bit, because what happens when you get fatigued? What starts happening in your brain?
You can't think. You can't think, and then the guy's throwing punches and you don't know how to react.
Right.
Yeah, and then obviously all the technical stuff goes out the window. You start bringing your hands down. You start opening your mouth, and those are not good things.
Yeah. Has it ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Was that early in your career, or was that after a few fights?
Well, to be honest, I still kind of do it. I still open my mouth, but because I have a deviated septum, so it's kind of hard to breathe from my right side.
Got you.
So obviously, as you're fighting, your nose swells up. So that's something too. You got to practice your breathing, learn how to breathe certain spots, pick your opportunities, and it's definitely challenging. But that wind comes from the training. You definitely got to. It's a different type of training when it comes to that boxing stuff.
Is the running the only thing you do, or do you do any kettlebell to help you with your cardio conditioning or anything like that?
Well, I do a lot of sprints. I do jump rope. I love sprints. I do fan bike. I love the fan bike. Sprints outside, sprinting in heels.
Is a fan bike way different? Because I see all the boxers do it. Is it like something that shows results as far as doing the fan bike?
Oh yeah, because you're pretty much doing everything, right? Because you're working your hands, you're working your legs, you're working your air, it's pretty much like all in one workout.
Okay, that's why I see it, all the fighters, MMA fighters doing that.
Oh,
because
it's amazing for trying to get your wind up.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's very tough.
Okay, so in regards to, like, let's say young Latinos that right now are stuck and they're going through some stuff and they really don't know which way to go, what do you want to for them to hear from you to let them know it's gonna be okay and you can keep pushing forward?
Yeah, my message to them would be is don't give up. Don't give up, and you could say lock in on that dream, right? Have a dream.
Lock in, chat.
Lock in and then just pursue it, man. Like no matter what you feel like you can't do, you definitely won't be able to do it if you don't try it, right? So it's like if you don't even try, if you don't even give yourself that opportunity to reach it, you know for sure that you're not gonna achieve it. So all you can do is try. Just try as hard as you can to get there.
Absolutely. Now, you have a particular quote on your Instagram that is, to be molded, you must first go through the fire.
Yeah.
Very powerful, by the way. Where did you get it from? And how is it reflecting your life and the way that you approach life now?
Yeah, so that quote comes back from una alabanza. Una alabanza that I used to listen to when I would go to church.
Oh, wow.
Que se llama El Alfarero.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much saying that, God is el alfarero and we're the mold. We get molded by him. And everything that you go through in life pretty much is the fire. The fire that tells you the type of person that you are, how you react to certain things, what you decide to do after certain things happen to you. That's the fire. So to be molded, the person that you are, you have to go through all those things. That's what makes you you.
Do you, at this time in your life, whenever adversity comes around, that now by experience that there's going to be a light at the other side? There's going to be something better when you finish passing whatever you're going through these days. So nowadays that you've gone through some of those stuff, right? Experiences and different things like that. In your mind now these days, whenever you go into tribulations, do you know that it's necessary for you to get better or not necessarily? You still have to go through those frustrations. But even though that, you still know something's going to be better at the other side. Yeah,
I mean, life in general is like that, right? Like we're always going to have issues. Things are not always going to go your way.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to know and you got to learn that it's not always sunshines and rainbows like they say, right?
Right.
It's like there is light at the end of the tunnel as long as you keep going and you believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have that faith that you are going to achieve those goals. All you can do is push. All you can do is push and try to get there.
Yeah. Now that you, I don't know if you have a fight schedule coming up. You have a fight, anything planned here?
Not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
So
yeah.
whenever you get the call, you're so like for example, Canelo, he stays in the gym.
Yeah.
There's no camp per se.
Right.
He just always there. Of course, after he gets the call, he starts game planning for you. What is your strategy for you? Do you stay in the gym all the time? And when you get the call, you kind of sort of start just game planning for the next when you go into camp?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I've been out 2 years.
Gotcha.
Since 2022 because of the injuries, right? Because I'm coming off of these surgeries. So for the most part, I do try and stay in the gym. I try and stay in shape as close to fight shape as possible.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want to go through those cutting weight stages. The higher you swell up and balloon up, the harder it is to come back in that weight.
Yeah.
So I try to stay very active. I go to the gym, and I also go to the boxing gym as much as I can. Obviously, with work, schedule, family, it gets tough. You could say that once you get that call that, hey, we can possibly, have a fight for you, it changes a little bit. The intensity, the mentality kind of changes because, you have a fight to get ready for, compared to just training and trying to stay in shape.
To remind me again, who is it you're fighting with, you're aligned right now with?
Yeah, so right now, personally, I don't have a fight right now, but I do fight with a podcast called The Boxing Voice, who holds a fighting events called Border Wars. So they travel pretty much all over the United States. I've been blessed to go through a couple states, fought in California, fought in Florida.
Awesome.
Been in Wisconsin. I've had a couple fights here. And fly out and compete with, whoever they can find that can match you according to your skill level. They're growing, so that's always a plus. So now they're USA Boxing approved. So, you know, people have to have their USA Boxing certifications and licenses, all that stuff to compete.
Was it difficult to get your certifications? Is that a long process to get that?
No, it's not that hard. You just, you know, you got to sign up and pay your fees and then go get your physicals done and get all that paperwork squared away.
Okay, so 2 years that you've been kind of sort of outside, like you said, it's just mostly just healing and getting your body 100%. Is that is that the delay right now, or do you want to pursue it at a higher level as far as the boxing for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the goal is to go pro here in town, right?
Nice.
Here local. So I was born and raised in Irving. So that's the goal. That's the game plan. 2 years of inactivity definitely puts me behind, especially at my age. But you know, that's a bucket thing. You know, I want to be able to experience that, to go pro. And you never know. You know, you never know how far you can go in the boxing game.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Of course, the 2 years don't help, but at the same time, as long as you know your responsibilities, but you still putting in the work, you know by experience, having all the belts, that eventually does pay off, right?
Yeah.
How do you do outside of the ring? Whenever you're not in the ring, how is your life in general, as far as the way that you like to approach life outside of the ring?
Well, my life is busy. I mean, I'm always moving around. I'm constantly doing stuff. I have 2 girls who are 7 and 5.
Awesome.
So the times that I do have them, I constantly out trying to do things with them. But I'm also a field mechanic. I work on heavy equipment by trade. So that also keeps me busy. So I'm constantly doing something, which helps, you know, because it helps with, you know, sweating and getting all this water weight out and stuff while you're trying to cut weight. So, but yeah, I'm definitely always busy, always trying to do something.
How much weight do you usually cut? And tell me the hardest time where you were really almost ready to stop whenever you went through a weight cut. Because usually boxers, compared to MMA, those dudes are crazy. They cut like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Compared to boxers, they're typically about 10 pound-ish or so.
Right, which that's the ideal way, right? Like, you don't want to get ballooned up too heavy. So in my case, I fight 175, right? So I would want to walk around 185, 190. I've done 17 pounds in 1 week.
Ooh.
That's been my hardest cut, 17 pounds in 1 week. And I could feel my heart beating out of my chest, literally. I was pale. I was in a sauna suit, full sauna suit, fasted, you know, trying to get as much water weight out. And yeah, it was probably the toughest cut I've ever had, was 17 pounds in 1 week.
Okay, break that down for me a little bit, because you see little clips of videos and them doing certain things, and it doesn't make any sense to you, right? But for me, just because I like to watch boxing, I like to watch MMA. Okay, whenever you weight cutting, there's different ways to do it, right? What ways is there to cut weight?
Well, obviously the ideal weight is when you cut body fat, right? Which you have your 8-week program. If you're not too high in body fat, you can cut that weight in fat. And you don't have to cut too much water weight out, because that's going to make you weak. But if you got to cut water weight, the way that I've done it and it's worked for me is it's called water loading. Okay. So I would go first 2-3 days, I would drink about 2 gallons of water. And then as I go down during the week, I start cutting half a gallon to a gallon to pretty much almost nothing to get as close to fight day. Try and cut as much before the day so I'm not too dehydrated. But yeah, regardless, when you're cutting water weight, you're gonna be dehydrated.
And then the way you cut that is through sauna, running.
Yep.
What else is? Because I've seen people get on a tub with, I don't know if it's hot water or cold water.
Yeah, hot water, Epsom salt. Open up the pores, get all that water out.
Wow.
The way I've done it is sauna suit in the sauna and running, jump rope, running. And just sauna. It's tough, man.
What got you? What helped you push over those 17? The last few, because those are the hardest, right? The 1 or 2 pounds right before you get to the weight.
Man, I've had to spit in a cup on my way to a weigh-in, because
spit in a cup.
Yeah, because I've had ounces. I still had a couple ounces that I had to lose. So at that particular event, was probably about an hour and a half away, and somebody had to drive me because I couldn't even drive. I was so dehydrated. clearly not ideal. You know, you don't want to do that
Not
because
healthy
it's
at
not
all.
safe. Yeah, exactly. But I've had to spin the cup to be able to lose those couple ounces of weight, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? If you're scheduled to fight at a certain weight, that's the weight that you need to fight at, and you got
That's
to make it
crazy.
one way or another.
I know I did the fasting I told you, bro, but I didn't feel too weak. But having to do it for a longer period of times to go in and fight, I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's really
definitely
tough.
tough.
Whenever you were driving over here, I know you know you have an amazing story. Again, crazy how even at 4 years old you began your fighting in regards to the world and other things you had to just to be here. But on your drive over here, were you thinking of any, like, I hope he asked me about this, or I hope we touch about this? Anything that comes to mind?
No, to be honest, not too much. I think you pretty much hit everything that I kind of wanted to share about. But I think you pretty much hit everything down the head.
I'm really good. I'm just kidding. He helped me a lot with some of the information he gave me, which is amazing because I was able to kind of puzzle together all the things and the curiosity that I had out of those things that you didn't send me. That's why it helped me ask questions.
Right,
So thank you so much. Now, is there a particular message that you have for the young Latino community that wants to get in boxing? What is something that you might want to tell them to help them encourage, or what is something that helped you out that somebody could have told you?
First and foremost, to put your faith in God. You know, a lot of things that we do, we don't have the answer, and we sometimes tend to say, "Oh, everything happens for a reason," but everything happens because there's a plan. You know, God has a plan for you, and no matter what you think or how hard you think it is, it's possible. You know, you just gotta have faith. Faith moves mountains, and if you have faith and you push and give it your all, there's no reason why you won't be able to achieve your goal. So all you got to do is just keep pushing no matter how hard you think it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything that's going on, I just want to get your take. Again, it's up to your discretion if you want to address it or not, but everything that's going on regarding the news with immigration or things like that, being somebody that's parents from somebody that made it from El Salvador, I don't know if you know their story. I don't know if you know an interesting story about the way your parents came to the U.S., but what is your take on everything that's happening right now?
It's tough. It's tough, man, because it's starting to feel like it's illegal to be brown, you know. And I understand people's point of view when they come and say they're immigrants and they're illegal and they didn't do it the right way or this, that, and the other. But you do have people trying to do it the right way. You know, you do have people that are going to court and paying all these fines and fees and stuff to do it the right way. And from what I've seen is they get out of that court and immigration is waiting for them. Mm-hmm. Or the judge, you know, says, hey, okay, you're good to go. This is the next step. And they're still taken away. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's fair. Obviously, there's laws here that, you know, everybody has to follow. But I think if they were to give them that opportunity, and people that don't necessarily have to go through that don't understand the pain that us, the Hispanic community, feels, because that's exactly what it feels like, that we're being attacked. We're being attacked because of the way that we look. And you have a certain skin color, so that automatically puts that target in certain people's minds as this guy's an immigrant. He's not supposed to be here.
Right.
And it's not fair.
Even though you can literally have somebody from Australia that's an immigrant as well.
So it's like, why aren't these you know, other people not getting attacked like the immigrant communities, like the people, you know, my skin color? And they're targeted. They're being targeted in certain cities and certain areas where we're known to be there, right? So why not go do that with the others?
True that. What is your message to that community, our community, Latino community, in regards to everything that's going on? Is there anything you have that you want to say?
To stay strong, stay vigilant. For those of us that are blessed that are here, that are citizens, help each other out, man. Because I know a lot of people that are citizens have family that are immigrants or know somebody that are immigrants, and nobody wants to get pulled away from their family. Hardworking people that are just here to make a living, trying to give a better life to their kids, to their families, just get ripped away from their family because of their skin color. So if you have a voice and you can step up and you can help them, do it.
I saw a video that said a girl was talking about, and she was talking about, if you look at your DNA, your ancestry, your entire DNA has been an immigrant. Because let's say if humanity started at one place on the other side of the world, and you're over here, literally somebody decided to migrate to another place, and it might not be you right now. It might have been your previous ancestors, but in the future, you even might have to migrate because of whatever reason, jobs, whatever. So our entire human history is immigration.
Right.
If you want to talk about the origin of humanity itself, what are we doing here? Yeah. You know what I mean? We had to move around.
Exactly.
Is there any particularly interesting story of your family, your parents, the way that they got here to the U.S.?
Well, my parents came here, I would say, probably close to 40 plus years ago. You know, they were escaping the war in El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
I think my dad was about 16 years old when he got here. And he was able to come here as an immigrant, able to fix. And, you know, you could say he's trying to live the American dream, right? Hardworking man. So was my mom. Busted their butt to give us as much as they could, you know. And that's something that a lot of people take for granted, or sometimes get upset because they couldn't get certain things, and my childhood this, my childhood that. But now that you become an adult, you see the sacrifices that your parents did for you, and you really value that, and you're like, wow, they really did try to give me everything with the little that they had, and the little knowledge, and the little language, and the language barriers, and everything that they had to go through just to try to give us a better life.
Yeah. Did they ever share the journey? How is it that they maneuver all the way from El Salvador to the States at all?
You know what? We've never really sat down and talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know he came here first, and then he brought my mom over here.
Yeah.
And got married here.
It's crazy to tell somebody to do it the right way when you literally having a place that's at war, and you literally are fighting for your survivorship. Whether you stay there, you might die, or try to find another way and take a chance to be safe and live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and anybody would do it, and no matter what color, ethnicity, belief, if you feel like you're under attack and you feel like your life is at danger, you're going to do whatever you have to do to protect your family. And at that time, that's what most of these people have done. And they've came here. And I feel like most of them, because obviously you have those bad apples. But
we're not saying that there's not people there, and believe me, our community don't want them either.
Right.
Our community don't want people that are breaking the laws all the time and doing the things they're not supposed to be doing either. Do you think we want them in our community? Because they're the ones that kind of sort of spark the spark. Oh, look at them. They're nowhere now like that.
Right.
And we are against those people too.
Yeah.
The ones that are not doing the right thing and committing crimes. Who wants them? Nobody wants them in the community.
Exactly.
But the real criminals, not the ones that literally a misdemeanor for crossing over is what you're attacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, destroying somebody's family, literally. I mean, you have, from what I've seen in the news lately, is the immigration officers are going to schools to pick up kids. I mean, what kind of crime is a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid gonna do? Nothing. You know, they're being targeted and they're being attacked because of the color of their skin.
Absolutely, man. Again, it'll get better, because I know within a certain time frame, us Latinos supposed to be the majority, and they might delay it, but the way there are people reproduce, we're going to be the majority, whether you want it or not. You're just prolonging what is inevitable. It's going to happen.
Right, and that's probably the issue. And that's probably the issue, because there's too many of us.
Anyways, bro, we thank you very much for those words. It's so true, but at the end of the day, you know, lend a hand. I was thinking about the reason why I do the podcast, and how people, I was thinking about how whenever somebody turns you into, whenever they label you criminal, when you think of a criminal, that means you can treat them less than a human being, right? So all of a sudden now you can kind of sort of do things that you wouldn't normally do for a human being, right? They have less rights. So when you remove that away from a person, all of a sudden you can do some of those things that are not so nice, a violation of their rights, because they're criminals, right? They're not technically, they're human, but we took that away by labeling them in that. And that's the reason why we got to understand and why we have people like yourself here sharing their stories. We are the amazing things that our Latino community, our Salvadoran community, Mexicano community continue to do to highlight the amazing contributions that we do to this world. You're a family man, you have your kids, not only that, but you had some amazing, some crazy stuff that you went through, but now you're still here representing and speaking out for the people that are not able to, So we're the amplifying voice of those people that are not able to address it and show great examples of amazing human beings doing amazing things in the community and continue to strive to do even better.
Thank you.
All right. So before I let you go, all your social media, where can people find you at? And do you have, I don't know if you do events or anything, like if people want you to show up at the gym because they know you're boxing, anything like that?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I just consider myself an average Joe, man. Just, another fighter, trying to come up in the game.
Awesome.
But, they can find me, Marvin Ferman, on Facebook. I'm a little bit more active on Instagram, which my Instagram is _tank, TANK, _Ferman, FERMAN. And, I'm always there, man. I'm always active, trying to show. I'm going to be a little bit more active now that, I'm out of surgery and I'm clear and all that. So
awesome.
Start posting a lot more videos, my work, my day-to-day life, and just kind of a little bit of everything what I do.
All righty. We're going to put it all on the description, so make sure that people follow you. Now, ¿tienes saludos? Any shout-outs?
Yeah, man. Shout out to all those people that have helped me through this journey. Of course, my family. Well, first, before anything, man, God, God, what other, I guess you could say, person, thing, whatever you believe in, could get you out of certain situations, like that I've been through. There's nothing else that I feel like could have helped me, and besides God. God took me out of those bad spots where I was physically, emotionally, mentally. I was able to overcome that. First and foremost, thank God for everything that we've been through, and we've been able to make it out. And, my family, of course, they're my biggest supporters, help me in every way possible. The Salvadoran community for embracing me. You get he's not even Salvadorian, or why is he even repping that?
We get the same,
right?
If you're not too Mexican, you're not Mexican enough, and this
right.
and that. It's just crazy. We need to be together right now,
right? Like, we're supposed to be helping each other, unite. But shout out to all my Salvadoran community, all my people that are always supporting me, always sending me motivational things. Hey, keep going. Or you inspired me to work out today. I didn't feel like doing something. Or, all those positive messages that do help me out, because sometimes I do feel down. I do feel tired. Don't want to work out. And you're like, oh, man, you helped me out today. And I'm going to go work out today. So, like, you know what? Me too. I can't fall behind. So, shout out to all them. Shout out to the Boxing Voice who pretty much laid the groundwork to get to the position where I'm at. Because, without them and fighting in their league, I probably wouldn't be boxing right now.
Yeah, you speak great, by the way. And all those motivational videos, you can tell that you listen to a lot of the things. So not telling you what to do, just a recommendation. If you give some of those, even in your story, some of those amazing words that you say to inspire people, I think it will help them out.
Thank you.
I think will help them, make a decision to go to the gym, or maybe not eat that extra slice of pizza or something. You know what I mean? Because I think you speak well, and you can definitely do that if you wanted to. Okay. What is an important lesson that you learned doing boxing that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? What would that be?
That's I don't know. Repeat the question again.
What is something that you learned in the beginning of your boxing career that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? Something that you're like, man, I wish somebody would have told me this sooner. Anything comes to mind in boxing?
Try and get to the gym. Try and get to an actual fighting gym.
Yeah.
Try to get with a coach as soon as you can. Because if you want to take this serious, the faster you can start tightening up those little things and preventing those mistakes, it's going to take you a long way.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like you said, some of the things that you see whenever you see in a fight is totally different with the things that I be seeing that I think I know. You know what I mean? Way different level. Sometimes during my day or sometimes the week, I remind myself of this the phrase that I heard, I'm not immortal, I am mortal, and I will die one day, not to scare me, terrify me, frighten me, go through my day feeling like something's gonna happen, but to realize that this is life, right? That's real, and we're not here forever. It helps me hurry up and do things. With that, I wish you a very long, prosperous life. However, after everything's said and done, what do you want people to think and feel about your life?
For me, I think what I guess you could say I want people to remember me by, you would say, is somebody that worked hard, a hard worker, somebody that was very dedicated, somebody that was willing to help no matter what the situation was, whether, financially, mentally, whatever I could do to help you achieve your goals. Because at the end of the day, I feel like there's no better thing to do than help somebody else. It's, for me, it's a great feeling. I love doing it. I've been able to work with a lot of different people, from professional PTs to nutritionists that do this for a living, right? So I pick their brains, and I learn a lot of things. And sometimes when people ask me for help, I try to help them. So somebody who's motivated, that chased their dreams no matter what, despite the past, despite everything that they've been through, they still fought and tried to achieve their dreams no matter what.
Well, you're definitely striving towards it. You're doing it, I feel funny about that word try, because you actually execute something that I would not go and partake, such as being in the gym and fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, a fighter would definitely have to be in the type of words that people would describe you, because since you were small. Yeah. So you were small, not even a mere accident, something that happened all of a sudden. Now you having to go through this, and even as a 4-year-old, you don't even know what the heck is going on, yet still having to go through the motions. And literally, I feel like literally a miracle to be able to get you out of the situation, not to lose your leg, and to be able to now be here to continue to do what you do and honor your parents, and then just striving for your dreams. So you're doing it. To me, it's not like you're actually executing. Yeah. Will you get there or not, only time will tell. But you already know that the only way to do it is to take action, and that will drive the results, whether you want it or not. So thank you so much for being here. Again, I saw your message. I read a little bit, and I'm like, this is like a movie. This is like the some type of Rocky Salvadorian version of like, oh my God, this gentleman's gone through all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And so I happen to be that sometimes I don't just, when I see something like that, let's say I have some other stuff scheduled, I just have to be able to put it in as soon as possible, because I feel like this is the right episode, the right message that we want to relate to our gente. And there's a reason why I said, hey, no problem, but what you doing this day? So I happen to be that things lined up, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Again, I feel like you have a great message. Your testimony that you talked about and the way that you express yourself, I know that people can benefit out of it, and the way you carry yourself speaking. So I hope that I see more content of you. And without a shadow of a doubt, Marvin, you are a global Latin factor. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for sure.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe right now while you have amazing episodes that you can listen to be inspired, to see how we all work, how we function as the Latino community. We're giving you an entire window so you cannot be the not knowing and be the knowing of how we work. And literally, by the time we find out, you're going to find out that we're just like you. We are people. We are the spice and flavor in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time,